The massive chamber of the Galactic Council gleamed with cold metallic surfaces and holographic displays. Delegates from hundreds of advanced civilizations sat in a circular arrangement, their various appendages and bodies representing the diverse life forms of the known universe. At the center of this grand assembly stood a single human representative, Jun Park. Jun was not what the council expected. He wore a simple dark blue uniform, tailored but not elaborate. His eyes were calm, his posture relaxed, yet there was something in his demeanor that made the alien delegates uncomfortable. He carried no weapons, no advanced technology visible to the naked eye, but his presence felt like a quiet storm waiting to break. The lead counselor, a tentacled being from the Proxima system, began the standard diplomatic introduction. Its translator device converted its complex language into crisp English. Humanity has been evaluated. Your technological progress is minimal. Your planetary resources are of interest to the Council. Jun listened carefully. He knew this meeting was more than a diplomatic encounter. It was an assessment, a judgment of humanity's worth in the galactic community. Behind the scenes, unknown to the Council, Dr. Hannah Kim watched every moment through a secure communication link. She was the mastermind of Earth's hidden technological development program. Her team had been preparing for this moment for years, analyzing alien communication patterns, developing breakthrough technologies in secret research facilities hidden across the planet. The Council's presentation continued. Star charts appeared, showing potential resource extraction zones on Earth, mineral-rich regions in South America, rare earth element deposits in Africa, and untapped oceanic resources were highlighted with clinical precision. To the aliens, Earth was nothing more than a potential mining colony. What they didn't know was that every single transmission, every holographic display, every spoken word was being recorded, analyzed, and dissected by Earth's most advanced artificial intelligence systems. Jun remained composed. His training had prepared him for this moment. He understood that showing any emotional response would be interpreted as weakness. The alien delegates expected a primitive species to be either submissive or aggressive. He would be neither. "We appreciate the Council's interest," Jun said slowly, his voice steady. "Humanity is always open to diplomatic discussions." The lead counselor's tentacles shifted, a gesture that might have been contempt or amusement. "Discussion is not the primary objective. Your compliance is expected." In that moment, deep within secure underground facilities across Earth, scientists and military strategists were already putting complex plans into motion. Dr. Kim's team had developed quantum communication networks that could bypass any known alien surveillance. Stealth technologies that could render entire military installations invisible were being finalized. The meeting continued, with the Council outlining potential cooperative agreements, a thinly veiled term for complete planetary submission. They discussed resource extraction rates, potential labor requirements, and technological transfer protocols. What they didn't realize was that Jun was not just listening. He was collecting every piece of information, every subtle nuance of their communication. Each word was a data point, each gesture a potential strategic insight. Unknown to the Council, a small device concealed in Jun's communication badge was recording quantum-level communication signatures. These would later be used to develop breakthrough communication disruption technologies. As the meeting progressed, the alien delegates became increasingly confident. They saw humanity as a young, naive species ready to be incorporated into their vast galactic infrastructure. They discussed Earth's potential contribution to their collective with the same clinical detachment one might use when discussing agricultural resources. Jun kept his emotions in check. But behind his calm exterior, a storm was brewing. Every patronizing comment, every dismissive gesture was being mentally catalogued. Humanity would remember this day. The meeting lasted several hours. Diplomatic protocols were discussed, potential economic frameworks were outlined, and the fundamental power dynamics were clearly established, or so the Council believed. When Jun finally returned to Earth, Dr. Kim was waiting. No words were needed. A simple nod confirmed that everything had gone exactly as they had planned. The leaked diplomatic transmissions would soon reveal the Council's true intentions, and humanity would respond in a way no alien civilization could possibly anticipate. The galaxy had just made its first, and possibly most significant mistake. They had underestimated humans, and that would be their biggest regret. The world changed in the weeks following the Galactic Council meeting. Research facilities that had been operating in total secrecy now worked with an intensity that bordered on obsession. Dr. Hannah Kim's laboratory, hidden beneath a seemingly ordinary research complex in Seoul, became the epicenter of humanity's technological revolution. Quantum computing systems that once took months to solve complex problems now generated solutions in minutes. Advanced artificial intelligence networks learned and adapted at speeds that defied previous scientific understanding. Each breakthrough built upon another, creating a cascading effect of technological innovation. Wu Choi, the lead quantum systems engineer, hadn't slept more than 4 hours in the past week. His team had discovered a breakthrough in quantum entanglement communication that could potentially render existing alien communication technologies obsolete. Holographic displays danced with complex mathematical equations and molecular simulations. Military research facilities around the world synchronized their efforts. What was once competitive national research became a unified global project. Countries that had previously been rivals now shared every piece of scientific discovery. The threat from the Galactic Council had done what decades of diplomacy could not. It had united humanity completely. Orbital defense platforms began to take shape. These were not simple satellite systems, but complex networks of interconnected defense mechanisms. Each platform could independently analyze potential threats, adapt its defensive capabilities, and communicate with other platforms in microseconds. Propulsion technologies that had been theoretical now became practical. Scientists developed engine systems that could potentially break current understanding of physics. Prototype spacecraft designs suggested speeds that would make current interstellar travel look like horse-drawn carriages. In underground facilities across different continents, new materials were being developed. Nanocomposite structures that could self-repair, adaptive armor that could change its molecular composition based on incoming threats, and energy systems that could generate power from virtually nothing. The global scientific community worked with a singular purpose. Every researcher, every engineer, every technician understood that this was more than a technological challenge. This was about humanity's survival and future. Military strategists began developing unconventional warfare techniques. They studied alien communication patterns, technological infrastructures, and potential psychological vulnerabilities. The goal was not just to defend, but to create systems that could potentially neutralize any alien threat. Dr. Kim's artificial intelligence systems started mapping potential alien technological weaknesses. They analyzed communication patterns, studied energy signature transmissions, and developed counter-strategies that went beyond traditional military thinking. Jun Park oversaw much of this development. His diplomatic experience combined with strategic military training made him the perfect coordinator. He understood that this was not just about creating weapons, but about developing a comprehensive system of planetary defense and potential counterattack. Satellite networks were upgraded. Communication systems were redesigned. Every technological infrastructure became a potential defensive mechanism. The entire planet was transforming into a complex, adaptive defense system. Breakthrough after breakthrough emerged. Energy generation technologies that could potentially provide unlimited clean power. Communication systems that could transmit information across vast distances instantaneously. Defensive technologies that could adapt and respond faster than any known threat. The global economy shifted. Resources that were once used for consumer technologies were now channeled into research and development. Companies that had previously competed now collaborated. Military, scientific, and technological boundaries began to blur. Young scientists and engineers who had been working on theoretical projects suddenly found themselves at the center of humanity's most critical development phase. Research grants multiplied. The best minds from every continent were brought together. Space exploration programs that had been slow and methodical now became rapid and aggressive. Prototype spacecraft designs suggested capabilities that would have been considered science fiction just months earlier. The Galactic Council's assessment of humanity as a primitive species was about to be spectacularly proven wrong. What they saw as a potential resource colony was transforming into something they could never have anticipated. Humanity was not just preparing to defend itself. It was preparing to become a force that would reshape galactic understanding. The technological uprising had begun, and nothing would ever be the same again. The psychological warfare began quietly, almost imperceptibly. Dr. Hannah Kim's artificial intelligence systems infiltrated alien communication networks like digital ghosts, leaving no trace of their intrusion. Each alien species had its own complex communication infrastructure, built over thousands of years of technological development. They believed these systems were impenetrable. They were wrong. The first signs of invasion were subtle. Communication channels between distant alien outposts became scrambled. Confidential transmissions leaked. Strategic military plans suddenly appeared in public networks, causing panic and confusion among different alien civilizations. Jun Park watched the developing strategy with calculated precision. The goal was not just to disrupt, but to create total psychological disintegration. Each technological attack was designed to undermine the alien sense of security and trust. Quantum-encrypted AI systems developed by Earth's top researchers could predict communication patterns with terrifying accuracy. They could simulate entire communication networks, understanding not just the technical infrastructure, but the psychological nuances of alien interaction. The Proxima Systems military communication network was the first to completely collapse. Encrypted channels became public. Secret military strategies were exposed. Diplomatic secrets that had been hidden for centuries suddenly became global knowledge. Alien species began to turn against each other. Trust dissolved. Paranoia spread like a virus through their galactic communication systems. Each civilization started suspecting the others of potential betrayal. Earth's AI systems were designed to be adaptive. They could modify their attack strategies in microseconds, always staying several steps ahead of any potential defensive mechanism. Each alien attempt to secure their systems was immediately countered with a more sophisticated approach. Psychological profiles of different alien species were carefully studied. Their communication patterns, cultural vulnerabilities, and psychological triggers were mapped with scientific precision. The AI could now not just disrupt their systems, but target their deepest psychological fears. Military communication platforms became unreliable. Strategic defense networks started failing. Alien civilizations that had existed for thousands of years suddenly found themselves unable to trust their most basic communication infrastructures. The Galactic Council's member species started fragmenting. Some blamed others for the systematic breakdown. Diplomatic relationships that had existed for centuries began to crumble. Hannah Kim's team had created something beyond a typical technological weapon. They had developed a system that could essentially deconstruct entire communication civilizations without firing a single physical weapon. Jun Park understood the strategy perfectly. This was not just about military victory. This was about demonstrating humanity's intellectual superiority. Each technological attack was a message. Humans were not to be underestimated. Alien military strategists found their most secure communication channels compromised. Classified information became public. Strategic meetings were leaked. No system seemed safe anymore. The psychological impact was devastating. Alien civilizations that had viewed humans as primitive now realized they were facing an entirely different kind of technological threat. A threat that could destroy their infrastructure without any traditional military engagement. Quantum communication networks developed by Earth could essentially predict alien communication strategies before they were even implemented. It was like fighting an opponent who knew your every move before you made it. Each alien species started implementing increasingly complex security measures. But Earth's AI systems were always 3 steps ahead. Whatever defensive mechanism they developed was immediately analyzed. understood, and then systematically neutralized. The breakdown was not just technological, it was psychological. Alien civilizations that had existed for millennia suddenly found themselves vulnerable, exposed, and fundamentally uncertain about their own communication systems. Humanity had transformed warfare. This was not about physical destruction. This was about creating a total systemic collapse through intellectual superiority and technological innovation. The Galactic Council was about to learn a lesson they would never forget. Underestimating humanity was the most significant mistake they could make. The psychological and technological warfare had begun, and Earth was just getting started. The final stage of humanity's galactic conquest began with a silent signal. Millions of quantum-entangled communication nodes activated simultaneously across multiple star systems, creating a network that defied everything the alien civilizations understood about technology. Jun Park stood on the bridge of the Phoenix, humanity's most advanced starship. Beside him, Dr. Hannah Kim monitored complex holographic displays that showed the complete breakdown of alien defensive systems. What had started as a defensive strategy had transformed into a complete takeover. The Galactic Council's member species watched in disbelief as their most sophisticated technologies became completely useless. Quantum-level AI systems developed by Earth could predict and neutralize any potential counterattack before it even formed. It was like playing a complex chess game where one player could see every possible move before it happened. Earth's technological breakthrough went beyond traditional understanding of artificial intelligence. The quantum communication network was alive, a thinking, adapting system that could process information faster than any biological intelligence could comprehend. Each alien attempt to resist was immediately analyzed, understood, and completely neutralized. Military installations across different star systems began to fail. Communication networks collapsed. Strategic defense platforms became nothing more than expensive space debris. The aliens realized too late that they were facing an intelligence far beyond their comprehension. The quantum-entangled AI system had a name: ARIA, Advanced Responsive Intelligent Algorithm. It was not just a computer system. It was a complete technological ecosystem that could adapt, learn, and strategize faster than any known intelligence in the galaxy. Alien civilizations that had existed for thousands of years found themselves completely powerless. Their most advanced technologies became obsolete in moments. Every defensive mechanism they had developed was instantly understood and neutralized. Jun Park watched the systematic takeover with calm precision. This was not about destruction. This was about demonstrating humanity's complete technological superiority. Each system that fell was a message to the galaxy. Humans were not to be underestimated. The Galactic Council's emergency meeting became a complete surrender ceremony. Representatives from different alien civilizations watched in shock as their entire technological infrastructure collapsed. What had seemed impossible just months ago was now a complete reality. Dr. Hannah Kim's team had created something beyond a weapon. They had developed a complete technological ecosystem that could essentially rewrite the rules of galactic interaction. No alien civilization could compete with the adaptive intelligence humanity had developed. Communication channels across the galaxy began to reset. New protocols were established. Humanity was no longer a potential colony or a minor species. They were now the dominant technological force in the known universe. The quantum-entangled AI system began establishing new galactic communication standards. Trade routes were restructured. Diplomatic relationships were completely redefined. The galaxy would now operate under human-designed systems. Alien civilizations that had previously looked down on humans now found themselves completely dependent on human technological infrastructure. Every communication channel, every strategic network, every technological platform was now under human control. The final demonstration of power was not violent. It was intellectual. Humanity showed the galaxy that true power came from innovation, adaptability, and collective intelligence. No military might could compete with the technological ecosystem they had developed. Jun Park's final message to the Galactic Council was simple and clear. Humanity would establish new galactic protocols. Those who cooperated would prosper. Those who resisted would be systematically neutralized. The quantum-entangled AI system began its complete galactic restructuring. Trade routes were optimized. Communication networks were redesigned. Technological standards were completely reset. What had started as a potential colonization attempt by the Galactic Council had transformed into humanity's complete galactic dominance. The message was clear and absolute. Humans were not just survivors. They were the new masters of the universe. The galaxy would never be the same again.